My wife thought I was broke. She cheated, stole from me, and filed for a divorce at my hospital bed. When she learned I'd inherited $47 million in court, my lawyer revealed a secret I'd kept for 8 years. She started panicking, and the verdict changed everything. The morphine was still wearing off when Claire walked into my hospital room with her lawyer. Not flowers, not a "how are you feeling," not even a pretense of concern. Just her, my wife of 8 years, in a crisp white blouse I didn't recognize, and a man in a charcoal suit carrying a leather briefcase that probably cost more than our monthly mortgage. "Sign these," Claire said. She slid a stack of papers onto my lap, right over the hospital blanket. The motion was so casual, so practiced, like she was handing me a grocery list. I was still groggy. My abdomen ached where they had removed my appendix 6 hours earlier. The IV in my arm pulled when I shifted to look at the documents. "What is this?" "Divorce papers." Her voice was flat, efficient. "I want a divorce and I want half of everything." The words didn't process immediately. The room was too bright. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Somewhere down the hall, a machine beeped in steady rhythm. "I just had surgery," I said stupidly. "I know." She crossed her arms. "That's why I'm here. Sign them now before you die or something and complicate the estate." The lawyer, his name tag said Stevens and Associates, stepped forward. He had the kind of smile that made you want to check if your wallet was still in your pocket. "Mr. Patterson, I'm Gerald Stevens. I represent your wife in this matter. Under California community property law, Mrs. Patterson is entitled to 50% of all marital assets acquired during your marriage." He paused for effect. "Including your uncle's inheritance." My blood went cold, not because of the divorce, because of what he just said. "How did you—" I started. Claire's smile was thin and sharp. "Your phone, David. I've had access to your iCloud for months. The executive left you a voicemail yesterday morning at 9:47 a.m. $47 million from Uncle Richard's estate?" She leaned closer. "And I'm entitled to half, $23.5 million. I stared at her. Really looked at her for the first time in months, maybe years. Her makeup was flawless. Her hair, highlighted, blown out, probably cost $300 at that salon she'd started going to in February. The Cartier watch on her wrist that she'd claimed was a gift from her mom. "Sign the papers, David," she said, "or I'll make this uglier than it needs to be." I didn't sign. My hand stayed on the blanket, the pen untouched beside the papers. "Fine," she snatched the documents back. "Then I'll see you in court. And trust me, my lawyer's better than anyone you can afford." Stevens gave me a condescending nod. "We'll be in touch, Mr. Patterson." They left. The door clicked shut, and I lay there in that hospital bed, staring at the ceiling tiles while the morphine drip fed into my vein and my appendix scar throbbed under the bandages. Claire never asked how the surgery went. She never asked if I was in pain. She never asked anything except where to sign to take half of everything I had. What Claire didn't know, what her expensive lawyer didn't know, was that I'd been expecting this. Not the exact timing, not the hospital bed ambush, but the divorce itself. I'd been waiting for it since March. 3 months earlier, I'd hired a private investigator named Marcus Reeves. Marcus was 56, a former police detective turned PI with 23 years on the force before he went private. He worked out of a small office in Glendale, and he'd been recommended by my college roommate Jake after Jake's own divorce. "She's cheating," Jake had told me over beers at our usual spot, McGinty's Pub. "I can see it, man. The late nights, the new clothes, the way she lights up when her phone buzzes. Get proof before you confront her." I'd hired Marcus the next day. "Tell me what you've noticed," Marcus had said, pulling out a yellow legal pad. I told him everything. Clara had started staying late at work 3 nights a week in January, always Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. She'd say she was catching up on projects or meeting with clients, but when I'd swing by her office once to surprise her with dinner, the parking lot was empty. Her assistant told me Claire had left at 5:30. She'd started going to the gym in the mornings, 6 a.m. before work, something she'd never done in the 7 years I'd known her. She'd come home showered and glowing, but her gym bag never smelled like sweat. It smelled like hotel soap. Her phone was always face down now, always on silent, and when it buzzed, she'd grab it fast and walk to another room. "How long has this been going on?" Marcus asked. "Since December, maybe November? I'm not sure." "And your financial situation? Any unusual spending?" "Yeah, actually. Our joint account, she's been pulling cash. 200 here, 500 there. I thought maybe she was buying gifts or something, but I trailed off. Marcus nodded slowly. How much total? I haven't added it up. Maybe a few thousand? Add it up, he said. Bring me bank statements going back 2 years, credit cards too, and give me her work schedule, her boss's name, and any friends she's mentioned recently. I brought him everything the next day. It took Marcus 3 weeks to build the case. 3 weeks of surveillance, records requests, and what he called basic footwork. He called me on a Wednesday in late March. Can you meet me at my office? I've got something you need to see. The manila envelope was thick. Inside, photographs, bank statements, phone records, and a USB drive. Your wife is having an affair with her boss, Marcus said without preamble. Ryan Kellerman, age 41, VP of Sales at Maverick Solutions. Married, 2 kids. He spread the photos across his desk. Claire and Ryan walking into the Sheridan on 5th Street. Timestamp 12:47 p.m., February 14th. Claire and Ryan in his car, parked at a scenic overlook, her hand on his face. Timestamp 7:23 p.m., March 3rd. Claire and Ryan leaving a restaurant in Santa Monica, his arm around his waist. Timestamp 9:11 p.m., March 10th. It's been going on since October, Marcus continued. 7 months. They meet during lunch hours after work and occasionally on weekends when you're out of town. My hands felt numb. There's more, Marcus said quietly. Your joint account. She's been systematically withdrawing cash and transferring to a secret account she opened last April, in both her name and Kellerman's. He showed me the statements. April, $2,000 transferred. May, $800. June, $3,200. Every month for almost a year. Total, $43,600. This account, Marcus tapped the paper, is a shared savings account. They're building a nest egg for what? I pulled some emails from her work account, don't ask how, and found these. He opened his laptop and turned it toward me. Email from Claire Patterson to Ryan Kellerman, dated February 2nd, 2025. We can't keep doing this. I want to be with you full time. Let's make a plan. Ryan's response. I know, just a few more months. We need at least 50 grand saved before we can leave. My lawyer says the divorce will take 6 months minimum. Be patient. Another email appeared. Claire to Ryan, March 18th, 2025, 10:42 p.m. Took another $2K today from the joint account. David didn't notice. I transferred it this morning. We're at $41K now. Almost there. Ryan's response, March 18th, 2025, 11:03 p.m. Good girl. Keep it up. My lawyer says I need 6 months minimum for the divorce to finalize. We just need to hold out a little longer. I read them twice. Then I closed the laptop. What do you want to do? Marcus asked. I don't know yet. Most people confront immediately, but if you want my advice, document everything. Don't tip your hand and get a lawyer before she does. I took the envelope home. I didn't confront Claire. I watched her instead. Watched her kiss me goodbye in the morning, her smile bright and warm before she went to the gym that wasn't a gym. Watched her text during dinner, her face lit by the blue glow of her phone while I pretended not to notice. Watched her lie about working late, about client meetings, about girls' nights that were actually hotel rooms. And I waited. Then, in late April, everything changed. My Uncle Richard died. Uncle Richard was my father's older brother, eccentric, wealthy, and estranged from most of the family for reasons no one quite understood. I'd visited him twice a year since I was a kid, mostly out of obligation, but we'd never been particularly close. When he died of a heart attack at 73, I was surprised to get a call from his attorney. Mr. Patterson, I'm calling regarding the estate of Richard Patterson. You're named as the primary beneficiary. I'm sorry? What? Your uncle left the entire estate to you. Approximately $47 million, comprising real estate holdings, investments, and liquid assets. I nearly dropped the phone. There must be a mistake. No mistake. The will is clear. I'll be sending you documentation this week. We'll need to schedule a meeting to discuss the transfer process. I hung up, sat in my car in the grocery store parking lot. $47 million. I didn't tell Claire, not that night in dinner when she asked how my day was, not the next morning when the executive's office left a voicemail at 9:47 a.m. confirming the inheritance. Not that weekend when she spent Saturday shopping with friends and came home at 11 p.m. smelling like men's cologne. I didn't tell her because I knew exactly what would happen. She'd want half. She'd lawyer up immediately. She'd take the money and disappear with Ryan Kellerman to start their new life.
But here's the thing Claire didn't know. Here's the detail her expensive lawyer didn't uncover. My Uncle Richard didn't just die in April. My Uncle Richard died 8 years ago, the same week Claire and I were getting married. I'd received the original inheritance notification 6 days before our wedding. The executive at the time, a different attorney, since retired, had called to inform me that Richard had passed away suddenly and left everything to me. The estate was valued at $41 million then, before 8 years of growth. What should I do? I'd asked him, 26 years old and overwhelmed. Put it in a trust, he advised. Keep it separate from any marital assets if you're getting married soon. That way, it remains your separate property under California law. You can access it whenever you want, but it won't be subject to community property division if things go south. I followed his advice, created an irrevocable trust, never touched the money, lived on my soft